Together with Earle Sports Bets, yeah, the twins, they be checking in, stacking up. Green is the scene that you're stepping in. Winning is a trend, and we stay making dollars. Nerd talk with the sports bet scholars. Yeah, R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies.
We are live. Welcome back to another edition of the Earle Sports Bet Show. My name is Nicholas Earle. Just me today, as we have 10 games in the NBA, 3 in the NHL, so nothing crazy there. But before we get into today's games, before we get into today's slate, quick recap of the yesterday, as it was a profitable day for me. I never got to any college basketball or any NBA. It was just NHL for me last night. And for those wondering already, there's no college basketball for tonight. Our spreadsheet showed no value on anybody enough to bet them. The highest value play was a 2.42 value, and that was on Niagara plus 1.5. So if you have to bet any of them, that would be our quote-unquote best bet, but it wasn't strong enough to even be a regular bet for us. So no action for me in college basketball today. It's just going to be NBA and NHL. But recap of yesterday, profitable 5-2 in the NHL. St. Louis plus 140 was a nice little winner there. They take care of business against the Washington Capitals 5-2. Love seeing that team lose. Buffalo team total over 2.5 was a loser. They got beat down there yesterday. The Islanders were a winner. Operation Fade Boston 2-0-1 out of the break so far, and we'll be doing it tomorrow. I believe they play the Penguins, so we'll be on the Penguins tomorrow, which I'm not the most thrilled about, but it is what it is. Detroit -1 was a loser. They lose 5-2 to Columbus, and then 3 winners to end the night. Pittsburgh, never in doubt, down 3-0 in the first period, come all the way back, win in overtime 5-4. And then Nashville gets the job done over Winnipeg, plus 117 winner there. And then Anaheim to close out the night. I went to bed. It was 2-0 Vancouver. I wake up, it's 5-2 Anaheim. Love to see it. So overall, a nice profitable day yesterday. Hoping to do that again today. We'll head over to the chat, and then we'll get into today's games. We have IceX in the chat saying, even though I had a losing night, they were at least fair losses. Fair enough. But we will get into today's games. How about this? If I would have told you heading into this NBA season that the Detroit Pistons would be favorites over the Denver Nuggets, you probably would have looked at me crazy. But let's get into it. We have Pistons -2, total of 237.5. Let's take a look at the line movement in our line history in this game, where it opened up 3.5 yesterday, immediately went down to a pick, and it's done nothing but just go from big from -3.5 for Denver to now a +2. So a huge move towards the Pistons in this game here. Line opened up 237, got down to a 236.5. Got up to a 238. We're now looking at a 237.5. So we do have a slight move towards the over here as well. Taking a look at what at the cash flow in this game. I'm getting that up real quick. Oh, please don't have a logging in issue for me again. But when I'm waiting for that to log in, taking a look at what these two teams have done lately, the Detroit Pistons have been the hottest team in the NBA. They have won 8 games in a row. They've looked awesome doing it. They've covered in 7 of them. The only game they didn't cover, they were 12-point favorites. They won by 10 against the Hornets. On the flip side, the Nuggets are coming in off of a loss in their last game. They were in Milwaukee last night. They lost that game 121 to 112. So they are on a second half of a back-to-back. Detroit coming in off of a big win in their last game, 20-point win over the Boston Celtics. Very, very impressive there. Could this potentially be one of those letdown spots? You just beat the Celtics. Now you're playing a Nuggets team. But even though the Nuggets have been just as hot, I mean, they're 8-2 in their last 10 games. They've been awesome. Taking a look at the cash flow in this game here, 61% tickets, 62% of cash coming in on Denver. Line's not moving towards them at all. And then 68% tickets, 66% of the cash is on the over. The question is, have you missed your line on the Detroit Pistons? Because they were dogs. And now they're favorites. I think they were more dogs like before the game for Denver yesterday. See if there's maybe an injury reason why this line's moved the way it is. No, because it's Watson, Holmes, and Kankar for Denver hurt. None of the big guys that would represent a line move of that much. It's minus 125 on the money line for Detroit. I guess I lean Detroit or no bet. I mean, at this number, I don't think you can bet Detroit at this number when you could have gotten plus money yesterday, potentially, things along those lines. I think maybe this line's moved a little bit too much too as well in order to be interested in looking at the Detroit Pistons. So no play here for me. I guess it's Detroit or no bet. Pistons are favored. Is Jokic out? My guess is somebody's not going to be playing. If this line's moved 5 points, somebody's not playing. Your guess is as good as mine, though. So I don't know if one player is out or not. It is the NBA. Keep that in mind, and they like to sit out games for random reasons. So morning. What's good, Markel? What's good, Markel? We'll continue on. The Portland Trailblazers taking on the Brooklyn Nets. What a matchup in this one here. We have, looks like the Blazers are 2-point favorites in this game. Total of 219.5. The Nets coming in off of the loss against Oklahoma City. They did cover, though. That was a game they probably could have won outright, and they blew it. I'm glad I was able to get on some OKC Live in that game around $1.20 at halftime. The line opened up at a 3. It went down to a 2.5, then dropped to a pick'em, but then it's come back ever since it dropped to a pick'em. I kind of want to see where the money line's gone in this game. Line opened up 217.5. It's now 219.5 in this game. I want to take a look where the money line is moved in this spot because we do have a close line, and I have a feeling that early number, that early number was a mistake line because it opened up at even money for Portland. Now we're looking at minus 130. So line moving towards the Blazers in this game here. 70% of tickets, 67% of the cash is on the Blazers on the spread. On the money line looks a little bit sharper, though. 56% tickets, 62% of cash on Portland. The line's at least moving to Portland for those who want to back them. And that's my lean in this game would be Blazers or no bet. I get it. Laying a number on the road with a bad team like Portland does not sound like fun. But maybe this could be a potential letdown spot for Brooklyn. They just gave their all in that Oklahoma City game and still came up short. It would be Portland or no bet for me. Portland continues on their road trip after this. Brooklyn hits the road after this. Only 2 games against Detroit and San Antonio, but they do hit the road after this game. Ultimately, a no play here for me again. I'm not going to force action in the NBA. So it's just a lean at this point. But I guess it would be Portland or no bet. It would be Portland or no bet. We'll continue on. The Boston Celtics and the Cleveland Cavaliers. We have the Celtics 2-point favorites in this game with a total of 233. Taking a look at the line history, opened up at a 2.5. It's now down to a 2. Line opened up 232. It's now 233. So move towards the over here as well. I kind of want to take a look what the money line has done in this game because we do have another close number. We have a bunch of close-ish spreads today. Line opened up 140. It's down to a 130 now for Boston. So the line's moving towards Cleveland here. Let's see if this makes sense. 57% of tickets, 58% of cash is on Cleveland. That makes sense. 48% of tickets, 6% of cash on the money line for Cleveland. 78% of tickets, 76% of cash on the over. Line makes sense that it's moving towards said over. The last time these two teams played was on February the 4th, and it was a 7-point win for the Boston Celtics. That was the last game the Cleveland Cavaliers have lost. Since then, they have rattled off 8 straight wins. On the flip side, Boston's coming in off of a bad loss, though. A 20-point loss against the Pistons. Generally, I don't want to fade the Celtics after a loss like that. And I understand why the line is moving towards is the line moving towards the line was slightly moving towards Cleveland. I understand why it is. And it's either you look for a short-term revenge spot or you look for Celtics off of a loss, 20-point loss. And I think definitely that 20-point loss for the Celtics was a look-at spot. They do have a home game on the 2nd. The Celtics, as their next game is against Denver. But for me, I'm interested in Boston in this game. Anytime Boston's off an embarrassing loss, I'm always interested. Minus 130 on the money line. I'll take a shot here at Boston in this game at minus 130. I think this is a spot where they bounce back after an embarrassing 20-point loss in their last game. So for me, I'm going to get my card started here with the Celtics at minus 130 over on Bovada. So Celtics minus 130 for me. No chat, so we'll keep it going here. Could be a relatively quick show. We have the Thunder minus 12.5, total 243 in this game. Thunder have been frustrating as of late. They can't hold leads for whatever reason, and they're not covering big numbers like they were. Line opened up at an 11, went up to a 12. It's now a 12.5. So we do have a move towards the Oklahoma City Thunder. Line opened up at a 237 in that game. It's all the way up to a 243.5 now. They are coming in off that comeback win. However, that felt like an embarrassing performance for the Thunder, and I feel like they'll get their best effort. 55% of tickets, 53% of cash is on the Hawks. The line's moving towards OKC, and it's moved towards OKC at a decent rate. So that's kind of an interesting line move there to a point where I'm kind of interested in the Thunder a little bit. And then we have 65% of tickets, 70% of cash is on the over, and this line has skyrocketed towards the over. Maybe if you don't want to lay the points with the Thunder, I would look maybe towards a team total over for the Thunder. I think that could be an interesting look. Probably not the greatest of lines, but and we probably missed our line when it comes to that because it's the total's moved up 6 points. But for me in this game, it's Thunder or no bet. If I'm playing, I'm laying. And I'm kind of curious to see what the best available number for OKC is, because I do think this could be a spot where they go and they have a team that they can blow out. But unfortunately, we said that last game, and it didn't work out the way I hoped it would. I'm seeing 12.5 basically across the board for that game. To lean towards the Thunder, I would only look towards the Thunder, but not enough for me to get involved here. So just a pass at this moment. With a lean towards OKC. We'll continue on. Indiana Pacers and the Miami Heat minus 4.5, total of 225.5 for the Pacers. Line opened up at a 2, it's now a 4.5. So we do have a move towards the Pacers in this game. Line opening up at a 231. It's all the way down to a 225.5. So we have a decent move towards the under in this game as well. Kind of interesting there, especially we know how much of an over team that this Pacers team could be, and this line's just done nothing but plummet. Taking a look at the cash flow in this game, we have 66% of tickets, 69% of cash is on the Pacers, 86% of tickets, 88% of cash is on the over, yet this line has moved towards the under, and it's plummeted towards the under, which is kind of interesting there. Maybe this game now at this point is worth buying the dip on the total, where it's dropped so much that maybe there's some value in the over. Taking a look at what these two teams have done as of late, the Pacers are coming in off of a 20-point win as 11-point favorites against the Toronto Raptors. Nice little bounce back after they lost to the Nuggets. On the flip side, a nice dominating win for the Heat. We were on the Heat in that game. I flipped sides. I was on the Heat the last game. I was on the Hawks the game before. So I read that matchup pretty well when it came to it. So that was really nice to see that there. But for me in this spot, I guess it's Indiana or no bet. But I feel like you've missed your line a little bit here. So that's enough for me to stay off in this one. A lot of high totals. Good lot of, yeah. What's good, Nicholas Handy? What is good? We'll continue on. We have the Chicago Bulls, 2-point favorites against the Toronto Raptors. We have the Bulls are the total 235 in this game. I kind of do want to take a look what the money line has done with this one as well, because this does seem like a pretty close spread. Line open up 1.5. It's now 2 for Chicago. Line open up 234.5. It's still 234.5. Money line wise, looks like this line opened up Chicago 125. It's now 130. Okay, so we do have a line move towards Chicago in this game, both money line and spread. Taking a look at the cash flow in this one, and that makes sense. 73% of tickets, 74% of cash on Chicago spread, 74% of tickets, 85% of cash on the money line. All right, 60% of tickets, 56% of the cash is on the over in this one as well. So it makes sense that the line's moving towards Chicago with all the money coming in on them. Can you trust the Bulls as a favorite? They're coming in off of a loss, but they did cover their last game against the LA Clippers. Unfortunately, was on the Clippers in that game, and they won but did not cover. And looking at this spot here, Toronto's not a team I trust on the road at all. So it is Chicago or no bet, but they're a little too public for me to be interested in them. The line has moved towards them, but with as much money coming in on them as there is, I would have hoped for a little bit more of a line move, and we just haven't gotten that yet. So and that'll be enough for me to stay off. Not going to force action once again in the NBA. So far, only the Celtics, but yeah. Supness. Plus 12,300 parlay killed by wild team total over 1.5. Ouch. Kind of want to take the Bulls, but yuck. Toronto plus 1.5. Yeah. With as public as the Bulls are today, I wouldn't talk you off of the Raptors. The Bulls are plenty public, which is enough to keep me off of them. But yeah, they're plenty public for a little bit too much there for the Bulls to be a favorite and public favorite. No, thank you whatsoever. But we'll continue on with the Memphis Grizzlies and the New York Knicks. The Grizzlies 3.5-point favorites, total 244. Taking a look at the line history in this one here, where I think we're starting to see a 4s pop up. Line opened up 2.5. Immediately went to a 3.5, so 3.5, and now it's a 4. So we do have a move towards Memphis. Line opened up 244.5. It's now 244. Let's take a look at the cash flow in this game here, where we have. Let's take a look. 56% of tickets, 59% of cash coming in on Memphis. The line's moving towards them, so I'm fine with that type of market there. 61% of tickets, 56% of cash is on the over here as well. The last time these two teams played was about a month ago. It was a blowout win for the Knicks. How about a 37-point win the last time these two teams played at the Garden? Memphis coming in off of a high-scoring back-and-forth win, 151-148 against the Phoenix Suns. But that was following a loss there. The Knicks bounce back against the Sixers. They win but do not cover. They failed to cover in 5 in a row. They were 8-point favorites, 10.5. 7-point dogs, 7.5-point dogs, and an 8-point favorite. So they've struggled to cover numbers. So is Memphis. They are 0-3-2 their last 5 games. Pushes against. No, I read that wrong. They're 0-4-1 push against the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they didn't cover against Phoenix or Orlando or Indiana or the Clippers. So. Both these teams kind of struggling to cover right now. I'm interested in the Grizzlies a little bit in this spot. Hart's injured right now and day-to-day for Karl Anthony Towns. So I'm going to go – I think I'm going to go ahead and grab some Grizzlies action in this game and lay the points with them here. I see the Grizzlies team that they've looked really good this year. And I kind of do trust them a little bit, even though they've struggled as of late. I don't think they're going to continue to do that. I'm seeing 4s across the board. I'm going to take the -4, -110 with the Memphis Grizzlies here. Second play of the card here for me. Memphis laying the points against the New York Knicks. Go ahead and put that up on Capper Tech as well. Let's take a look. Want Grizzlies first half -5. I wouldn't talk you off of it. I like the Grizzlies in this spot. I think they take care of business. But we'll continue on. New Orleans Pelicans, Phoenix Suns. Suns -7.5, total 235 in this game. Take a look at the line history here between the Suns and the Pelicans. This line opened up 7.5, still 7.5, but it's gone from 7.5 -105 to 116 for Phoenix. So we do have an 11-cent line movement here towards the Suns. Line opened up 235.5 down to 234. Taking a look at the cash flow in this spot here, see if the line move makes sense. As we have, 36% of tickets, 56% of the cash is on the Phoenix Suns laying the points in this game. I kind of like Phoenix in this spot. That line movement kind of tells me Phoenix is a live dog in this one, or not a live dog, is poised for a blowout, is what I meant. And we've seen the Pelicans, they've actually turned it around a little bit now. They've won 4 of their last 5 games after really struggling. And they've won 3 in a row, covered in 3 in a row. Phoenix, they're coming in off of a loss against this Pelicans team. They were 6.5-point favorites, and they lost by 8 yesterday. Should we get short-term revenge in the same arena? Yeah, this is Suns for me, and this is, I want to say, Suns double-up spot here for me. First half and full game. I think they run New Orleans out of the building after New Orleans won outright last night. I'm going to go and take the opposite tonight. So I'm seeing 7.5 -110 on Bet365 for the full game. And I'm seeing Phoenix -4 first half. So double up spot here for me on the Suns in this game. Phoenix -4 -110 first half, -7.5 -110 full game. We go from an outright win last night for the Pelicans to a blowout win for the Suns tonight. So I think we see the opposite of last night, and the Suns take care of business here. So Phoenix first half and full game. Let's see. Pass. Morning, Nick. What's good, Untouchable? No, Tim. Not this morning. No. He's currently on his way back to Raleigh, so it's just me running the show today, which is just fine. 2 games remaining in the NBA. This one typing up caught my attention a little bit. We have the Minnesota Timberwolves taking on the Utah Jazz. We have the Utah Jazz, or the Timberwolves 2.5-point favorites on the road here, total of 226.5. The T-Wolves only being 2.5 was interesting. And now I believe last night Anthony Edwards got ejected because I think threw a ball in the stands or something like that. He looked like he was a little crybaby on the play, but after a technical foul or something along those lines. Let's take a look what the line history was, because I'm almost assuming this line's moved a decent amount. This was -3, and now it's -2.5. So we do have a move towards Utah in this game. Line opened up 225. It's now 226.5. This feels like Utah or no bet, right? Oh, yeah, it is. No, this is Utah. This is Utah big time. 82% of tickets, 71% of cash on the Timberwolves. If this line's moving towards the Jazz, 85% of tickets, 60% of cash on the money line. Yeah, this is Jazz all the way for me. The question is, what type of number am I going to get on Utah? Now, Minnesota, they're coming in off of a loss last night. They're on a second half of a back-to-back, but they're traveling, and it's through altitude. So that's a situational spot there where they were in LA. Last night, they lost by 9. They will continue. They'll finish off their 4-game road trip on Sunday against Phoenix. But Utah, on the flip side, they're coming in off of back-to-back losses. They lost and did not cover against Sacramento 2 days ago, 118-101. But you have Julius Randle did not play last night. I don't know if he's going to play tonight. Rudy Gobert is day-to-day as well. So you got a couple injuries where even if they do play, they're probably not 100%. And I believe Anthony Edwards is suspended for this game. If I remember right, please let me know in the chat if I'm wrong on that one there. But I'm going to be on Utah in this game. This is a pretty simple Utah play for me. And I can get 2.5 minus 110 over on Bet365. I'm going to pull the trigger there. Utah Jazz plus 2.5 for me. If you want to take the money line, I am all for it. Yeah, I think Utah gets the job done here tonight. Let's see. Did you all have fun at the game last night? I didn't go. I had school things to do. It was just Tim and Destiny, and he did not. Last night was fun at the Capitals game. Blues money line, Blues puck line. Love to see it. You had Canes right. I had the Sabres team total over. I did not go to the game though, but yeah. Also scored a nice 2-teamer plus 738 Blues puck line and Nashville money line. Love that. That is awesome. Yeah, I was on both those spots last night with the Blues, the Predators. Last night was a solid night in hockey. Hopefully tonight's the same thing. I have not moved on anything in hockey yet. But yeah, Kessler double-double. All right. Oh yeah, how about them Blues? Maybe I live when they are dogging situations. Love it. And especially they went ahead and they beat my kryptonite so far this year, which is the Washington Capitals. So anytime I can see the Capitals lose a hockey game with the way that I have just had no read on them this year, it was so nice to see. Untouchable year in the DMV. Yeah. Trash Cabal lines are fishy today. LOL. Nuggets are an underdog to the Pistons. Yeah. Yeah, he is. Naj Reed, baby. Yeah, Lex, I'm in that area. I thought I was tripping. Yeah. But we'll move on where we have last game on the NBA card, and then we'll get into the 3 hockey games. We have the LA Clippers and the LA Lakers in Crypto.com Arena. The Clippers 4.5-point favorites in this game, total of 220. Interesting line with the Clippers being a quote-unquote road favorites, LA versus LA, but they're not in the same arena anymore. But they are there. This line opened up at a 3 this morning at 1 a.m. It's now a 4.5 for the Clippers. Wow. Line opened up 220. It's still 220. Lakers coming in off of a win last night. It was their 4th consecutive win. They're currently 4th in the Western Conference, 36-21. How about them Lakers? Look really strong this year. And they're now 4th in the West. And then we have the Clippers, who are 6th in the West, 32-26. Clippers are coming in off of a win in their last game. They beat the Chicago Bulls to finish out their road trip, but they did not cover. They haven't covered in 5 in a row. This has the feel of Lakers win, Clippers win, but Lakers cover. I don't know why. These two teams do play again on Sunday in Crypto.com Arena again, so it's going to be 2 games at Lakers in a row, which is kind of interesting there. So maybe this is one of those where you sit back and see what happens tonight and you bet the opposite side on Sunday. I think that's the way I would like to approach this. Is I'm not betting this one. I will bet the loser of this game to cover in the next game. So no play here for me. I will use this to cap Sunday's game. Clippers, yeah. No LeBron, no Luka most likely. Yeah, I think no LeBron, no Luka. Maybe the Lakers get it done tonight and then the Clippers get it done on Sunday. Battle of LA. Yes, Lakers going to Western Conference. I don't know. Never mind. I'm going to wait till Sunday. Under. If no Luka and no LeBron, I could definitely see an under in that game. We'll make the transition, though, where we have the NHL. We have the Toronto Maple Leafs taking on the New York Rangers. The Maple Leafs are $1.20 favorites in this game, total 6. Let's take a look at what these two teams have done as of late. Where Toronto, they're on a 3-game winning streak since the Four Nations face-off break. They beat Carolina 6-3. They beat Chicago 5-2. They took care of business in overtime a comeback win against the Boston Bruins. On the flip side, for the Rangers, they started off terrible, an 8-2 loss, but then they followed that up with back-to-back wins in Pittsburgh and on Long Island against the Islanders and against the Penguins. They do get the Islanders again on Monday, which will be a third game in 4 days and a second of a back-to-back for them, which I believe it will be, I think, a similar situation for the Islanders as well. But I don't really know how to approach this game. You have, I mean, I would like to take Toronto in this game. And the way you look at the Rangers right now, I don't know how they won the last 2 games. They are combining. They got combined outshot 77-34. And they scored 10 goals and won those games by a combined 10-4. It made no sense. They are getting badly outplayed. And that may work against Pittsburgh. That may work against the Islanders. It ain't going to work against Toronto. I think this is Maple Leafs for me in this game to get my card started. And I think this is where potentially the regression hits for the Rangers because I don't know how they won the last 2 games the way they did, how badly outplayed they were in those games. I'm getting -120 over on DraftKings. Sign me up for a little Toronto Maple Leafs action here in this one to get my hockey card started. I'm going to bet against this continuing for the Rangers where they get badly outplayed and continue to win games. I don't see it happening again today. So Maple Leafs here for me in this spot. Let's take a look. Leafs puck line, McCann anytime goal. I like it. Best part of the show starting, absolutely. Non-sports related, but Castell and Sam Winchester will be added to the next season of the boys. Okay. Isaacs, yeah. Why no Dean? I don't know. We're on the same page. Toronto and the under. I could definitely see that. I can definitely see it regress. Leafs money line. Over 6. We some Kings money line. They played Dallas. We'll talk about them next game. Max Domi goal 6-1. Dean's already in it. Okay. Leafs team total over. Morning, Nick. How are you, Nick? I was at the Houston Rockets game on Wednesday night. I know. You said it a few times. Can I get Leafs puck line? I need to pick my Leafs up outside anyway. Yeah, you're looking at a nice +210 over on Fanatics if you are looking for a puck line. If you're looking to go for a nice score there, that's not a bad look. LOL. Oops. So do we take the opposite tomorrow night in the game because last night was Wings in the under? Yeah, I'm probably going to look towards the Red Wings in that game in the stadium. I'll probably look towards that. Nick Robertson anytime goal +350. Stolarz versus Swisterkin. Leafs and Reich. Yeah, I 100% agree. Let's keep it going. 2 games remaining on the card. We have the Dallas Stars and the LA Kings. We have the Stars -130 favorites, total 5.5 in this game. Let's take a look at what these 2 teams have done as of late. Let me get up the matchup. I believe the Stars are coming in off of a loss in their last game. They lost 6-4 to the Columbus Blue Jackets. That was at the end of the road trip. They had 3 games on the road in California before the 4 Nations. After it, they were in New Jersey, New York, and Columbus. And now they're finally back home in Dallas. Could this be one of those? It's great to be home type of games, maybe. And on the flip side, LA, they are off of an overtime loss against Vancouver. I was frustrating. I had a piece of LA in that game. I mean, the Kings look appealing at a dog price tag, but here's the thing. I don't want them on the road. They're 12-14-5 on the road, 19-3-3 at home. So the Kings are a bet-on team at home at Crypto.com Arena. I don't think they're a bet-on team on the road, which they haven't been. You have Dallas off of a loss, but they're on a long road trip It's the first game on the road for the Kings. I think it's a tricky spot for the Dallas Stars, but I would lean that direction. Not a game I'm getting involved with, though. I think it's a pretty simple pass. I'm kind of interested in the last game, though, between Colorado and Minnesota. Let's see. Stars money line. Yep. All right, I'll lean that way. Any thoughts for the Kings and the Rockets tomorrow? So I don't even look at. No, I don't. Kings money line, draw, and same game parlay combo. Over 5.5 at even money. Kings broke my heart last game, so yeah. Over again. Dallas unders haven't been hitting as usual. Yeah. Nick, you need to watch the show Supernatural. I've seen bits and pieces of it. My girlfriend likes that show, but I don't watch it like heavily intent. Than the boys. Okay. Right now we're working on Lost. I'm showing her Lost right now, and we're also watching Shameless. So, then the Stars stink at home. They are, I believe, 27-1. So not really. Granlund over 1.5 points. Not a bad look. Last King game was disappointing for me too. Yeah, it was frustrating. Yeah. And then Fogle 3-1 goal. Don't hate that. We'll move on. Last game of the card. We have the Colorado Avalanche taking on the Minnesota Wild. Minus 245. Now we're seeing minus 325s here. We're seeing up in the 300 range for the Colorado Avalanche in this game, which is crazy. Total of 6. For the Minnesota Wild, it's still Eriksson Ek and it's Kaprizov. They're both out. For Colorado, Landeskog still, he's been out for a while, though. Manson is day-to-day. So I think, and obviously Kaprizov's still out. And Colorado, they're coming in off of a very nice win, 5-1 against the New Jersey Devils. It was their first game back at home after back-to-back road losses. We were on Colorado in that game. Back-to-back losses now for the Minnesota Wild. Tricky spot, second game of the back-to-back, third game in 4 nights. Generally not where I want to back teams. But this number is getting to be a little bit ridiculous for the Minnesota Wild. And I get it. They look bad last night. You would think maybe they show up here. And I think here's how I would like to approach it. I want the Minnesota Wild in the first period. The more and more I look at it. And can I get a reasonable number at +0.5? I can over on DraftKings, minus 120. I'm going to take Minnesota first period +0.5. You lose 6-1. Now, I don't trust in the full game because I can see them keeping it close early and then Colorado running away with it late as the Wild fatigue. Like, that's the one thing I am worried about. But can the Minnesota Wild at least keep it at the worst tied at the end of the first period at minus 120? I'll sign up for that. So I'm going to look for Minnesota to show up here early. Unfortunately, the 2.5, it's going to be way too expensive on Minnesota. But maybe you look towards a Minnesota first period +1.5, full game +2.5. If that's not too expensive, I'm kind of actually not thinking about it. What would that be? What would that pay? I'm going to go on Fanatics for this. What would that pay, though? A first period +1.5, full game +2.5, same game parlay. I'm not going to bet it, but I'm just curious on what type of like a plus goals double result. So let's see, spread period. No. Where would it be here? Exact scores? No. 3-way? No. Where would first period be? Because I would want the first period alt spread. I don't know. I would have to figure that out. First period, that would be money line. I don't want that. Period spread. I'm guessing that's first period. Minnesota, that's over 1.5 goals, 5-1 Chiefs. That could be interesting there for the first period. 3-way money line? No, I don't want that. I don't know. I'll figure that out. I'm curious what a first period plus 1.5, full game plus 2.5 for Minnesota would pay. But no, I'm just going to stick with the first period puck line plus minus 120 for the plus a half for Minnesota. Just give me 20 strong minutes Wild, and that is it for today. But yeah, first period plus a half for me with Minnesota at minus 120. I don't like the situational spot for the full game, but yeah. Let's take a look. I guess I stay off Kings now. It's just a tricky spot. Yeah, Wild first period. Yeah, I like the plus a half. It's only minus 120 on DraftKings, so I took that. Wild money line, Wild reg. Wow, and favor anytime goal. Yeah, Shameless is crazy. Yeah, they leave nothing to the imagination. Avalanche team total over. I can see that late. I can definitely see that late. Big Val goal. Under. Makar over 1.5 points, plus 165. Yeah. I'm going to the barbecue cook-off. There you go. On DraftKings, you need to move to the period tab. Plus 108. Plus 108 for first period, plus 1.5, full game, plus 2.5. That's not a bad look. I don't, and I learned my lesson with same game parlays the other day with the San Jose team total over 1.5 and plus 3.5. So I learned my lesson with same game parlays the other day. So I'm not going to be I'm not going to be taking those. But yeah, plus 108 for Minnesota first period, plus 1.5, full game plus 2.5. Yeah, it'd be first period plus 1.5, so they can lose the first period by a goal and it would still cash, and then the full game plus 2.5. Yeah, I'm assuming that wouldn't be. I mean, it could be plus 108, but yeah, I'll take a look here. You said NHL. All right, you put half and 2.5. Okay, yeah. See, I was looking more towards, I was looking more towards playing it extra safe. Which I don't see that here, unless it's under first period. First period. First goal, no. Okay. Worth a shot. Yeah, no. I got you. Yeah, I was trying to go for more of a safe option. But yeah. But that is everything for today's card. If you guys have not already, be sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, turn on those post notifications so you guys are notified each and every time we are live here at ESB. But that's going to wrap it up for this one. I want to thank you guys as always for watching, and we'll catch you guys same time, same place tomorrow for another edition of the Earle Sports Bet Show. Good luck, everyone.